Will you get this? Coming from a brand new company that has no history at all. I would love to hear opinions on this. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 1st to 6th of December 2025. We are finally in the last month of the year, and for this week we have quite a bit less new figure pre-orders on the genuine side, but there are quite a few 1x4 scales that are very expensive. There is even one 1x4 scale figure by Nocturne which is almost 80,000 yen. What the heck? That is in AmiAmi's age restricted section later on. And then for third parties we have quite a bit more, but hopefully this won't go on for too long. Moving on to our first stop for today, genuine figures on Hobby Link Japan, which is a partner of this channel. If you're interested in purchasing or pre-ordering anything, not just anime figures, from HLJ or OSGK, please to make use of my links down in the description below, and that is how to support this channel. They are affiliate partners. And also you can click on a link that occasionally pops up on the top right corner of this video. So new stuff this week, Nikke again, of course. A Nikke figure a week keeps your financial health weak. Except we have two this week, not just one. Okay, so starting off with the 1x4 scale, the main highlight this week coming from a new brand that is virtually unheard of. Their first two figures ever, and they are expecting you to drop 88,000 yen for a couple of 1x4 scale Goddess of Victory Nikke figures, Blanc and Noah, releasing in March 2027. That is right. And for the case of Hobby Link Japan, if you pre-order it early, 88,000 yen is considered to be a high value item. So it is risky for them, and they want you to pay the full amount upfront if you are pre-ordering something this pricey. So this is something that I really like based on initial early impressions, but from a brand that virtually has no track record at all. I don't know what to expect. I'm not sure if I will pre-order early at all, right? I'm a bit unsure about this one. Granted, I like to say that new Chinese brands, I would rather trust them over new Japanese brands. I like to say that a lot, but this is a lot of commitment. A new Chinese brand putting out a 20,000 yen figure is not the same as a new Chinese brand putting out an 88,000 yen figure. That is what I'm trying to say. However, if you are trying to avoid paying the full amount upfront, then there is a workaround, though you will be paying a lot more for your figure. So you just pre-order them separately, right? If your pre-order is 48,000 yen, you don't have to pay upfront, and then they'll make a second pre-order again on Blanc, 48,000 yen. It is below their threshold of what is considered high value. You don't have to pay upfront. The problem is that you pre-order them separately. This is a really dumb move because you are paying a total of 96,000 yen instead of 88. That is quite the big difference. So should you do that? Of course not. Please don't do that, right? So, I mean, if you don't like the idea of HLJ charging you the full amount upfront, maybe check out AmiAmi. I'm not sure if AmiAmi will request for full payment upfront. AmiAmi is around 87,000 yen plus, roughly less than 1,000 yen cheaper than HLJ's price over here, after discount of course. Or you can also pre-order it on OSGK. Granted, on OSGK you have to pay a certain amount of deposit, but at least you are not paying the full amount. And in case the company does not work, they close shop before they even release their figure, don't worry. You will get your pre-order deposit back. Yeah. So, will you get this? Coming from a brand new company that has no history at all. I would love to hear opinions on this. I do like what I'm seeing, but these two figures does not attract me as much compared to the 1x4 scales that Hobby Sakura is doing. Maybe because they are in their game outfit, as I call it, or combat outfit. Yeah, their war uniform in a way, you know, with their weapons. Like the case of Red Hood, you know, they have, she has that long rifle, and then for the case of Cinderella, the weapon bits, right, the shield bits. So those kind of ready for war figures, as I call it, When I see a 1x4 scale, I tend to want it really badly. Basically, pretty girls with huge weapons. These two figures, in contrast, they are just wearing Chinese dress at 1x4. I guess I can afford to wait. Yeah, I won't pre-order this early. Right, moving on to the next one. This is the next 1x4 scale that is so expensive if you go for the deluxe edition. For a good reason. Or is it really a good reason? I'm not sure. So this is by Nocturne, 1x4 scale Meido Buso X straight version. So this version, 36,000 yen on HLJ. Yep, you guessed it right. It is the safe for work version. You can't cast this off at all. So recently, Nocturne has been doing the cast off versions and the non-cast off versions of the same figure. They don't do this in the past. It is something very recent, and presumably that is because they are trying to make their stuff legal to be sold in China. Yeah. So they just make it available for everyone in case for any reason you do not want your figure to be customable. I don't know why would you want that. Yeah, but if you are interested in a safe for work version, safe for work, not that you can display this at the workplace, then check out this version on HLJ. Of course, the safe for work version is also available on AmiAmi. And this is also the basic version in the sense that you're getting that pretty nice looking base over there. But over at AmiAmi, this is an AmiAmi exclusive for the cast off version. So there are 4 versions over here. I am going to break down what are their differences. The first one here, AmiAmi limited edition Meido Buso X straight version Pixel Filia edition. That is their terminology for being able to cast off. And also comes with that extra bonus background that I'm putting on screen, which is why this is so expensive. 77,550 yen. Ouch. This is probably the most expensive 1x4 scale ever I've seen so far. In future, 5 years, 10 years later, will you see a 1x4 scale at 100,000 yen? Maybe, depending on how quickly the Japanese yen depreciates. I'm sorry if any Japanese are watching this, but yes, that's the thing with currency. It keeps depreciating, right? So prices will keep going up. And if you ask me, will 1x4 scales ever hit 100,000 yen one day? Maybe yes. Not a maybe, just a matter of when. Yeah, that is the bad news. So back to this figure over here. Is it worth it at this price point? I would love to hear your opinion. I can imagine that most of you are saying no, but Nocturne or Nocturnus is like one of the top tier, one of the best 18 plus edgy figure brands out there. Their stuff turn out excellent every time. And if you skip this one and wait until after release hoping for a bargain bin, nope, not happening. Yeah, 90%, 95%, it is not bargain binning. Not for 18 plus figures by such a reputable brand. Okay, the next one here, this is basically the same figure as the one earlier, but without the AmiAmi bonus, 74,800 yen. And then here we have the safe for work version that I just covered on HLJ. This is with AmiAmi bonus, 42k, and finally the base one over here, 37k. Yeah, about almost the same price. No, this is a bit more expensive than on HLJ. 36k on HLJ. But you will want to go for the full pack, right? Maybe you don't want the AmiAmi limited edition, limited bonus, then you can get this for 75k. But the price difference is roughly 2,000 yen over here, which is not much when you look at the figure's price of 77k. Yeah. So moving on to the next 1x4 scale, we have a 1x4 scale Goblin Slayer Sword Maiden Bunny version, 40,000 yen. Oof. Is it worth 40k? Of course, no. Releasing in July 2026. Wait for the bean, I suppose. After all, this is still a seasonal anime in the end. Yes, 2 seasons and 1 movie so far. Maybe we'll get a season 3 in future. Or maybe it has already been announced, but I had forgotten about it. But if they give us a Sword Maiden 1x4 scale in her priestess outfit, is it priestess or nun? Anyways, her default outfit in the game, complete with the staff, right? 40k is okay. But you put her in a bunny suit and ask for 40k, that is a big no. At least that is what I think. Right, moving on to the next one here. We released Goblin Slayer Priestess. 30,000 yen only, bunny version, June release 2026. Okay, 30k is a lot more reasonable than the one earlier, but don't pre-order it, please don't. yeah, most likely the price is going to fall even further after release, right? It is weird that this thing is getting a re-release. Of course, I did not check the aftermarket value, but did she become expensive? So much that they had to re-release it. I find it hard to believe that this would go up in value, that they had to re-release it a second time. And interestingly, they chose to re-release her instead of removing the stockings and releasing a barrel-leg version. So sometimes I have no idea how they think, the people over there working in the product planning departments in Free Ink. Yeah, it is weird. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is okay, I suppose. 1x4 skill Idolmaster Gakuen Winami Himesaki Bani version. Yep, we had an IMAS Gakuen figure 1-4 last week. This is the follow-up, releasing in July 2026. This is what you call a safe for work figure, right? Just now that needy figure, even though it is not customable, it is far from safe from work. Yeah, very modest outfit. In fact, IMAS Gakuen characters, they are not dressed in a manner similar to OnlyFans models. No, they are all very dressed modestly. For IMAS fans, I think these two are worth looking into because we don't really have any other options when it comes to 1x4 scale for IMAS Gakuen. At least I don't recall seeing any other options. Yeah. Next up over here, re-release again. Not really a re-release. They call this a Muse color version. Basically, they take the same figure, paint it with a slightly different color, and then call it a new figure. But it is kind of a re-release. Okay, so 1x4 scale Momobilia Develook Muse color version, 36k by Union Creative. But yes, they are working together with Free Ink, right? Both of them are making this. 36k for a plain bikini figure. Yes, I do find it to be overpriced. June release 2026. When the first version came out back then, I think it was a turquoise color bikini. I already complained about the same thing. It is overpriced. But we are talking about Momobilia Develook, which is one of the most popular characters in To Love Go. Top 3 most popular. And yeah, I do like her a lot. My top 3 favorite character as well. I guess I'm too normie. So, will I get it? Of course not. Not at this price. I used to own the very first version that came out many years ago. Pink color bunny suit sitting on the floor with stockings. That one is very rare and expensive now. Yes, unfortunately I sold it, not because I did not like the figure. That is one of the best Free Ink 1x4 skills actually, in terms of quality. Just that, yeah, I needed money to fund my new addiction in Nikke, in FGO and so on. So I sold a seasonal anime character figure in a way. Alright, moving on to the next one here. We are now moving into 1x6 scale territory, finally. So this one here, there is a cast-offable version that went on pre-order a month, 2 months ago, quite some time ago. Now they have this Karutama original illustration Yurina Inoue wholesome version by Daiki Kogyo, which is their way of saying this is not cast-offable. This is the safe for work version. 24,000 yen, May release next year. Forget about it, man. For everyone else living outside of China, get the cast-off version if you really want one. Though I'm a bit concerned about the blue color skirt, which is cast-offable in the cast-off version. Yep, the blue paint might transfer onto her skin. Happens a lot, and not just to Daiki Kogyo, but to many other figure brands. When you see a JK wearing school uniform, and then the skirt is like dark color, dark green, dark blue, and you have matte finish skin underneath her legs, her thighs, her oshiri, then you're going to get color transfer or paint transfer problems over time. So this one, forget about it. Yeah. Even if you're watching this from China, somehow you get to access YouTube, I will still tell you to find a way to get the cast-off version. Yes, it is possible. Some sellers do offer it in Taobao, just that they don't openly advertise it. You need to put in your due diligence and search for it, right? Okay, moving on to the next one here. 1x7 scale. Okay, this IMAS figure is, wow. I feel I'm looking at something from Hyper Dimension Neptune. Yeah, looks like Green Heart to me. Okay, so this is Idolmaster Shiny Colors Fuyuko Mayuzumi X Grid version by Design Coco. 32,000 yen, releasing in May 2027. It was just last week I said that good smile. And what company was it? Another company has finally broken into February 2027 for figure releases. I think it was Apex Toys. Now, Design Coco has jumped ahead and put this figure in May 2027. Holy crap, man. This is like 1 year and 6 months, 18 months of waiting for a figure. I see people place a pre-order or a booking on a new car, waiting for 2 months, 3 months, and they are already complaining. Same thing with new cameras, right? For us content creators, we buy cameras. 2 or 3 months, they will be complaining. But we figure collectors are so patient that we will wait a year, 18 months for an anime figure. This one looks amazing, but no, I'm not touching idol stuff. Just that the science fiction theme is really drawing me in. I do love the concept over here. The metal poles are necessary, I suppose. Can't be avoided. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh yes, speaking of Design Coco, if you were to ask me, is their quality good? Yeah, somewhat. Right, their expensive scale figures are great, but the low budget figure brand El Coco, at least based on one single figure I reviewed this year, it was terrible. Hopefully mine was of a lemon copy, which is to say worse than usual, right? But their premium scale figures, I have no problem recommending them. Okay, next up here, this is my favorite 1/7 scale PVC figure this week. Blue Archive Hinata by Q-Skill. The problem is the price once again, but Q-Skill is no stranger to overpricing pretty much every figure they make nowadays, right? October 2026 release. The problem is that Blue Archive figures can be extremely difficult to predict whether the value will go up or go down after release. There has been so many Blue Archive figures which I thought, okay, this is average or above average. Looks cute. I love that lolly. Maybe wait until after release, and then when the thing comes out, the price went up. Happened to so many Blue Archive characters. One by Spirit Tail. What was the name again? The red hair lolly in bunny suit. That is very expensive now. And then who else again? Kakudate Karin. Specifically the one by Max Factory with the huge cannon. That one became expensive as well. Asuna Ichinose was also on the way to becoming very expensive, and then Max Factory chose to re-release it. Who else? Kosaka Wakamo, the Neon Max version, also went up in value, and then they re-released it. So that's the thing with Blue Archive. Between Blue Archive and Nikke, I find Nikke's characters to be more attractive, but it is the Blue Archive characters that are holding on their value or even going up after release. So despite the high asking price of 30k, if you really like what you're looking at, I would say the safer move over here is to pre-order it. Yeah. It would be really sad to see this discounted to 22k maybe after release, but I don't know, man. I don't know how to predict this one. It is character dependent. That is what I'm assuming over here. If the character is super popular, then the value might go up. But if a character is super popular, it also means there is a higher chance of re-release. So really, it is anyone's guess at this point. I like this a lot, man. It is not just the main figure, even her suitcase looks super detailed, and I am someone who loves details. I mean, look at the small touch over here, the small gold color accents on her nun outfit. In fact, I feel like I really want this figure. Yeah, I want it. Right, moving on to the next one. We have Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out second season, Hana Uzaki Angel version by Proof 24k, releasing in September next year. Okay, Proof is a bit of a hit and miss. They had good figures. I think they are Toby from Nier Automata. Not my favorite Toby, but that one turns out okay. But they are 02 from Darling in the Franxx that wasn't very good. It looks like a slightly better price figure in a way. Over in Taobao, there are quite a few Proof figures, most notably Marin Kitagawa Lee's version and also 02 from Darling in the Franxx. You can find one for roughly 500 Chinese yuan brand new, which is like bargain bin pricing. And it is not because of bargain binning only, though that is partly a factor, but rather the seller said that people threw away, they gave up their pre-orders, even if it meant sacrificing their deposit money. They just did not want to pay the remainder amount for a figure which they deem to be low quality. So the leftover stock, they are selling at a price which is based off the remainder amount. They are not charging the deposit money included, which is 700, 800 Chinese yuan. So they are quite honest, the sellers, but I find it funny that people disliked the figure so much that they chose to give up their pre-order and throw away money in the process. So that is proof. In my opinion, you can skip this or wait until after release. Maybe it is not too late because there are so many different scale figures of Uzaki anyway. Okay, moving on to the next one here. We are now moving into low budget figure territory. The first one here, Mega House Lucria Light from Gundam GQ's Dukes Murasame, 8,000 yen, releasing in July next year. I don't need new Murasame, I only need that grumpy girl in the middle. I love it when she looks pissed, man. Yeah. So, you want figures of Gundam characters, Gundam human characters, then you go to Mega House. Pretty much, Mega House is the only one that makes but Gundam human character figures because they own the license, right? Mega House is under Bandai, by the way, their figure division. So next up over here, we have Mega House GEM series Nintama Rantaro Tenohira Rikichi-san. Tenohira is the name of the product line. Tiny figures, as you can see over here, 7,500 yen, June release next year. I don't even know who she is. And then the next one here, okay. I hate this dude so much. Maybe he behaves in a bad way because he has some tragic past story, as is the case with every Demon Slayer character, so I no longer have much empathy for them anymore. It is like everyone has a sob story. So it feels repetitive. That is my problem with Demon Slayer's plot in general. Ufotable basically saved the manga, saved the series. It was because of the animation they became successful. But if you look at the manga alone and the way the story was written, it was pretty mid in fact. So back to this character over here, Shinazugawa-san. Nope, not touching it. Once again, tiny figure, 7,800 yen, June release. And then moving on to the next one here. This is interesting. I actually like what I'm looking at, even though I'm not exactly the target customer for something like this. Pop-Up Red Kirby, Wheelie Rider version, 6,500 yen, releasing in July. It is so nice that I can see this one selling very well, maybe better than expected. So, for once, I am going to tell you to pre-order it early instead of waiting after release, right? Which is an advice I give for 80-90% of pop-up parades. But for this one, I would say that is an exception to the rule. Because this thing is so unique. If you are a fan of Kirby, pre-order it. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, hold on. Back to this Kirby over here. My personal prediction. It will be so popular that it sells out shortly after release, goes up to 10, 12,000 yen, and then Good Smile sees that and re-release it later on. Which is pretty much what happened to many Hololive characters, and I predict this Kirby to follow a very similar pattern, so pre-order yours as early as possible. Next up over here, Ado Kenet Shoto Todoroki by Bandai. So whatever this thing is, Ado Kenet must be price figure level quality given the asking price over here, and they are quite small, of course. No comment from me. Yeah, looks pretty cheap. Moving up next, we have Izuku Midoriya Ado Kenet series, 3,400 yen, may release next year. Yeah, great for low budget figure collectors, I suppose. And then we have, from the same series, Katsuki Bakugo from BNHA, same price, may release. And finally, this Hatsune Miku Cinnamon Roll Chibi figure. This is cute. Yeah, 4,000 yen, Good Smile Company, July release next year. This is also worth pre-ordering. Like, something this low in price, 4,000 yen, even if it gets discounted or bins after release, how much are you saving? 500 yen, 1,000 yen max? Yeah, so the savings is not that great. If you like it, pre-order it. Moving on to the next section, which is AmiAmi, we check out some exclusive items and also stuff that has not been listed on HLJ at the time of recording. The first one here, Vertex Originals Elf Village. This is exclusive at AmiAmi all the time, and you should get the Antenna Shop Limited Edition, which comes with a unique base. They are not showing over here in the product pictures, but usually you get a grass base, which is very nice, right? the standard version is like 2,000, 3,000 yen cheaper and not really that worth it. Yeah, get the antenna shop limited edition. So here we have Village Teacher Monica, 28,600 yen, which is very expensive for a lolly character. Small figure, short figure, even though it is 1/6, releasing in April 2026. And I sound like a broken record, but Rotek's original Elf series is amazing, right? Collect the whole series. If you are an Elf lover, you need the whole thing, the whole line of figures. So this one, I don't think there is any cast off in the sense where you get to see her flat airport runway chest. Over here, they are showing her without the outer coat, but not without her pink color dots on her chest exposed. So I think that is very unlikely. Yeah, no cast off for this one set. I like stripping lollies, man. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one here. Mega House exclusive again, Sakamoto Days Nagumo 25k, releasing in October 2026. I suppose that figures from Sakamoto Days, they're not going to sell in many units, you know. How many dudes are going to buy figures like this, right? So they needed to make it exclusive so that people will feel a little bit of FOMO, and hopefully that encourages them to pre-order it early. That is the way I see things, because I am a pessimist, or more like I am a conspiracy theorist to some extent. Yeah, Mega House figures, they are okay. I mean, their quality is good most of the time, just that they tend to be pretty small. So this is non-scale once again, and I am expecting it to be closer to 1/8 instead of 1/7. Anyways, let's have a look at the dimensions. 23.5. 23.5 including... Okay, that is not bad, because the entire figure is leaning to one side, and then there's the base over there. It is hard to tell if it is 1/8 or 1/7, but this could be close to 1/7, 23.5 cm. If he was standing upright, maybe 26. Yeah, 26, 27, then that would be anywhere between 1/7 to 1/8. Yeah, for a male character, right, which is way taller. Moving on to the next one, we have low budget figures from Mega House, which means, yep, AmiAmi exclusive again, Monster Chronicle Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician. 8,600 yen, releasing in May 2026. Yeah, look at the paint, man. It is dull, right? When I see Magician, be it the dude or the female version, I want the armor to look metallic, and this is dull. For good reason, the price is low. So I would get something nicer if I can. Moving up next, also from Yu-Gi-Oh! We have Silent Magician, 8,600 yen. I think there is a premium scale figure of her. Is it? From Mega House as well? 30k or so. Because the name Silent Magician sounds familiar, or I might be mistaken. Though this is a very nice looking figure for 8,600 yen. Looks better than the Dark Magician earlier. Okay, this must be lighting. You know, if the bodysuit over here, this type bodysuit is like shiny, metallic, chrome-ish finish, that would look amazing, but no, not at this price point. These reflections over here, they are just from lighting. Yeah, maybe a semi-gloss finish, that is the most you're getting with this figure, but the face looks fantastic though. Yeah, I love her face. Size or height would be, oh my god, 120 millimeters, 12 centimeters, that is smaller than a Figna. Yes, Mega House. Not even surprised, man. Like, first time reacting to the height of the figure, 12 centimeters. Holy crap. And then you look at the brand Mega House. Yeah, I suppose that is to be expected. Next up over here, this is like, they are taking... Wait, is this getting a second round of pre-order? This one went on pre-order quite some time ago, right? Oh, no. This is a new figure, my bad. I confused it with something else. This is a new figure that was displayed in the recent Mega Hobby Expo. Was it August or September? Okay, so Anastasia and V, Archer class from FGO, 28k, releasing in July 2026. I like this a lot. I kind of want one, and this being a Kadokawa figure, I'm not sure if it will show up in HLJ, that's the thing. But I can always get it from Taobao, easy to find over there. This one, I have the Kotobukiya version, the caster class. That is an okay figure, but not perfect, right? That was like a B tier Kotobukiya figure. She has her own issues, but between that caster version and this version over here, the archer class, I like this version a lot. This is very summery in feel. The vibes are very summery. 28k, that's the price is the problem, right? FGO tax, I suppose. Moving on to the next one here. Okay, there is a slightly cheaper version, 25.5. Okay, about 3,000 yen difference. Almost 3,000 yen of difference. I would take the limited version just for this face over here. This face expression. What do you call that? What do you call this face expression? Like she's pissed off or something. There's a word for it. Man, my brain is not working. Anyways, this face is so unique that this is the no-brainer. Get the deluxe version, right? Okay, next up over here from Spirit Tail, Aimas Gakuen again, Hiro Shinosawa, 20k, releasing in August 2026. And there is a long list of countries over here where they will not ship to for some reason, which I believe is a matter of distributor exclusivity. In these countries, they have a distributor who has exclusive rights to the figure. So you can only buy from them, basically monopoly. Yeah. Not that I like it, I never support this kind of practice, but it is very common, unfortunately. They don't ship to China, they don't ship to Japan. What the heck? Is it like half of the planet they are not shipping to over here? Jeez. A lot of countries in the EU as well. Anyways, 20k for this is alright, reasonable, I suppose. Not cheap, not too expensive either. I do like figures like this, you know, like the slice of life feel. It is capturing that feel very well. Yeah. Feels like I'm looking at something made by PA Works, one of their original slice of life animes. That is the vibe I'm getting from this figure. I like it. Moving up next, we have Animaster Easy Pick series, which is their even cheaper line of figures. Yeah, cheaper than the current 7,000, 8,000 yen figures, as if that is not cheap enough already. So I have no idea how they are keeping the price so low. More cost cutting somewhere that I'm not aware of. More like the kind of cost cutting you cannot see on the surface. Maybe until you get the actual figure itself. 3,000 yen only at 1/7 scale. Original character from the looks of it, releasing in October 2026. Nope, I won't pre-order it. If curiosity gets the better of me, then after release, I will try reviewing one of these Easy Pick series, but I don't see myself getting it. Yeah. This is not an exclusive. Later on this week, HLJ will have it. Next up over here from Prisma Wing, Cells at Work, Red Blood Cell and Platelet non-scale figure. 34,500 yen, January 2027 release. This is actually reasonable. 2 figures plus a cart, a trolley for 35k. For once, Prisma Wing is not overpricing their stuff, because when I see something like this and Prisma Wing, I'm expecting at least 40k. Even more so when we get 2 figures over here. Perhaps the figure is kinda small, right? And the issue over here is that I'm not sure if I like the face, but I did not watch the anime, so I'm not sure how accurate the face is. I think this girl over here looks pretty accurate in my opinion, but this one here, the red blood cell, I'm not too sure. Yeah, face is a bit derpy to me if I have to be honest. But this is a very unique set of figure. If you are a fan of the anime, maybe look at this one, maybe pick one up after release maybe. I don't see a point in pre-ordering something like this too early. Not going to sell out. Okay. Up next over here, this is AmiAmi exclusive Hokisei Momoko First Bloom DX version by Pink Charm. 29k at 1/6 scale, June 2026 release. Yep, overpriced, but Pink Charm, which is under native. So of course it is going to be expensive. Hopefully the quality turns out fine, and yep, you can cast it off. So I do like slender women, like this one over here, but the character design is just okay. Not exactly something that makes me want it really badly. Next up over here, a cheaper version, 20k. ST version, which means, yeah, not cast offable. Let me double check over here. Yep, there are no cast off pictures over here, so this is the safe for work version. Except this is probably safe for work, I don't know. Okay, moving on to the next one here. This is a quick mention because they are not scale figures. Let me repeat, they are not scale figures. So if you see this Saber Lily Distant Avalon on AmiAmi, this is a plastic model kit. I think it is so obvious in the title, but sometimes people don't read. I mean, you look at a door with a push or pull sign, people still push the door the wrong direction, so people don't read. Okay, 8,500 yen after a discount, June 2026 release. So this is an experiment, in my opinion, right? Good Smile is experimenting a new type of product, a plastic model kit, and that is something where modelers will want no practice painting an anime figure on their own, like Gunpla in a way, right? Gunpla are pre-painted, they are color injected, pre-painted, right? Mostly accurate colors. If you buy the higher grades like real grade, master grade, they are accurate colors. I think in this case, it is the same thing. They are mostly accurate colors all around, but you need to assemble the figure and you may want to do your own touch-up when it comes to weathering, shading, and clear coating. Yeah. So what Good Smile is doing over here, they are probably experimenting with a new kind of product that they have no idea whether it will sell or not. But it will be too expensive to make an entirely new product from scratch. So they look at their older figures and we use the molds to make these plastic models, right? It is a low-risk way to test the market. And the same thing can be said for this Hatsune Miku version 2013. Come on, man. If you want to experiment, why give us a Miku from 10 years, from 12 years ago? You could have taken the 2023-2024 version and made a plastic model out of it, right? Why 2013 version? I'm not quite sure. Maybe because the figure's price would be a lot lower because they have the mold made so long ago and the cost is very low. Maybe it is the price, man. Right, next up over here, we are now moving into age restricted section. And for this week, right, the cultured figures, both on genuine and third-party side, are so damn unhinged. This one over here coming from Odd, which is a brand that has been around. I wouldn't say they are a new brand, but they have a few stuff on pre-order already. They first appeared on OSGK. They are older figures. And then the newer ones, now they're appearing on AmiAmi's age restricted section. At the time of recording, this figure is not yet available on OSGK, but I would imagine that later this week they will list it as well. Yeah. So Goblin Kyodo, 62k by Odd, January 2027 release. One of those super cultured figures that we usually see TXS Studio make in the past. I suppose you can still call this a piece of art, right? Even though I can't show you much on screen, unfortunately. Yeah. How many of you watching this is going to pre-order one? Please be honest. Let me know down in the comments below. I won't judge you, alright? I won't. Unless you collect Funko Pops, then I might. Moving on to the next one from the same company, more cultured stuff, like the hardcore stuff. Types 97 Sunny no Futari Shoujo. They call it Futa, but I'm not seeing that big PP down there, so I'm not quite sure if this is Futa or not. Maybe one of them is a Futa, while the other two are actually biologically female. I don't know. So 3 figures plus a fancy base for 85k is actually not bad when I think about it. Just that I buy one. If I do, it is for personal enjoyment. How do I even display this openly for everyone to see? How do I even review it online? Yeah. The best I can do is to post some uncensored pictures on Twitter or X. Yeah. So, interesting. January 2027 release as well. Next up over here, this one is incredible. And it is coming from Party Look. I like this character design a lot. It is lewd but not overly. And it is tastefully done, if there's a way to describe it, right? It is like, this is how you can say that this is like truly Hadaka in the form of art. This is beautiful, man. So Gao Gen He Ji Dancer version 1/6 scale by Party Look, 38,610 yen. At 1/6, that is expensive, yeah, but it is worth it. Party Look stuff are great. Yes, there are a couple of misses, at least based on feedback from other collectors. I've seen people complain about the figures, though that is not common. Many of their stuff, like the 1x4 skill I reviewed this year, though it was one single figure, I loved it. It was beautiful, right? So, Party Look, I do think quite highly of them. The price is worth it, even though it is expensive, because the value is just going to go up even further after release. So pre-order it if you want one. And the last figure on AmiAmi here from Gorgu Bird again. We just discussed about this brand a few days ago in my video titled "We Need to Talk About AI in Anime Figures." So go and check out that one if you want to know about the controversies involving this figure brand. And until today, we don't have a clear answer. Yeah, could go either way. If I judge this figure at face value, I don't think about is this drawn by a human or by a robot or by a computer. I just look at her on the surface. This is pretty. I love it. Yeah. So there are two versions. There is a cheaper version, cheaper by 2,000 yen or so. Don't bother, because the deluxe version is where you get a few more parts, right? So it makes more sense to get this one. Price difference is not too big. And our last stop for Ninin game for, Be Full Inside Forts Japan figures, only 2 this week. Oh, Captive 10th Elf Glorial. What a pretty face. I love her face. I like this a lot. 22k releasing in June 2026. And the last one here on the genuine PVC figure section, Captive Knight Verona 1x6 scale, 22k releasing in June as well. This one has giant melons on the chest, so not my kind of thing. So that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third-party resin figures, making use of Oz GK. If you're enjoying my reaction and commentary on these new figures so far, I have a small request, a small favor to ask from you. Please hit the subscribe button, and that is how to support this channel. Right? Simple as that. Alright, moving on to the first section, Anya's and GB figures, only one this week. So this is beautiful, I love it. ZH Studio just never misses with Anya crossovers, man. So this is crossover with Akaza, $114. They have the human form. This is the human form, and this is the demon form. And I think the demon form is the one you should go for, because this is unmistakably Anya. Because of her pink hair, right? It is so obvious. Just that I wish that we get to purchase a second hit option where she is striking the same pose over here, but we get a troll face instead. Her signature troll face. That would make it even better. But this is really good, and we're getting LED in the base. This is like him activating his demon blood art. This is beautiful, man. One of the better Anya crossover figures in the recent few months. And the price is actually fine. The height is, let me have a look. Product scale 1x20. Definitely not 1x20. Otherwise, it would be the size of... Yeah, this small. It is not 1x20. The height range is 10 to 15. I think it is closer to 15 cm. Alright, moving on to the next one here. This is life-sized waifu section. And I'm so happy to see a lolly this time around. Not often we get one of these, just under $1,000, releasing in February 2026. And I heard that the EU is trying to ban dolls like this because we need to protect the children. Right? Yeah, they need to protect the terrorists from the children, I suppose. This is delicious. I want one, man. Like, I want a lolly version. $1,000. Man, I can buy a nice camera lens or something with that money. So, whenever I see something very premium, be it a doll or a 1x4 scale resin figure, then I start comparing it with something else that I could have spent the same amount on. Can be the new Steam machine. I don't know how much that it's going to cost. Can be a new PlayStation. And surprise, I don't own any PlayStation. Not a console gamer. I could have purchased a new graphics card. Could have purchased a new camera or lens. Stuff like that. So when I compare it to those kind of things, then in the end, I never end up buying any of this stuff. Even just for display. Not thinking about what you are thinking. I just want it for display. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one here. We have Bezelia. They appear every week. This is 21 Lily of the Valley. 1x1 scale, 2300, 2400 bucks. That is cheap. Because some of their dolls go up to $4,000 easily. Releasing in March 2026, but this is quite ordinary. Yep, at least the face is pretty. That is what that matters, right? We all judge people. Our first impression is we judge them by their face. Next up here from Rose Doll Studio. Tifa 1x2 scale. That is so unfortunate. Make it life size. $879 releasing in March 2026. So what do you guys think about the face? I think there is a good amount of resemblance to Tifa. Looks like her actually. Alright, I would like to have her in her combat outfit, right? The white color top with the black color straps and the black shorts. Yeah, instead of a main outfit. Next up over here, now we're entering original character territory from Cool Model, which is actually pretty famous in the world of action figures. And people sometimes combine their stuff, their figures or the accessories with 1x6 scale Hot Toys stuff for Marvel and DC Comics, right? So this time around, Cool Model has a 1x6 scale Sword of Chaos Date Masamune. Oh, based off the samurai, right? From Japan's history. $146 at 1x6 scale action figure, which is reasonable. June 2026 release. This is a jointed action figure, I see. Very unique figure, isn't it? But it does remind me of Ushiwakamaru a bit from FGO. Without the helmet, of course, right? The outfit design reminds me of Ushiwaka a lot. Big fan of her, which is so sad that she's not getting any decent scale figures, except for one from Palkra. Okay, next up here from Demon Core Studio, we have Sister Alien of the Sect of Dual Cultivation, whatever that means. $296 at 1.4, which is a good price for resin 1.4, September 2026 release. And over here at the bottom, we only have a front view and a back view of the figure. 2 pictures only and nothing else. So is this customable? I'm inclined to say no, because OSGK did not label this figure as 18+. Though for those of you MILF lovers, you might like the character design on this one. Pretty face at least. Next up over here from Cute Studio, we have Vitality Dance Student 1x5 scale original character. Yeah, this leg stretching pose which has been done to death, but I never get bored of it. No matter how many times I see it, I like it a lot. $235 at 1.5, which is reasonable considering that, yeah, the outfit is pretty plain, right? Not much details on this one, but at least the price is low enough for resin figure. June release next year. Of course, if I want a figure with this pose, I will look at the genuine figures first and see what kind of characters they have over there and pick my favorite. I think even ecchi figure brands, they have a few characters with this pose. Just that, how much do they cost today? That is a different question altogether. I know nothing about this studio. Same thing with the one earlier, Demon Core Studio. But Demon Core Studio, they have a few stuff out already. So this will be dependent on your efforts to search online for user pictures or to ask around, ask in Reddit, ask in OSGK's very own Discord server. What is the quality of this brand? Anyone has purchased anything from this brand before? Then you might get the answer over there, right? Okay, too many third-party brands for me to know everything. I don't know much. Next up here from Sume Studio, they have been around for a long time. This is a licensed resin figure brand. They like to make stuff from normie anime, as they call it, which is shonen, Fairy Tail, Bleach, Naruto. Yeah, they do that kind of stuff. Here we have is it Juvia or Uvia? Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Uvia Loxer Ikigai, 1x6 scale from Fairy Tail, $436. What? 1x6, $436. Are you serious? Not that this brand is known for cheap figures. In fact, their stuff are pretty expensive most of the time, but what the hell? December 2026 release. Even with this base over here, this is $300, $350 tops. $350 I would say, even if it is licensed. Okay, the base is more substantial than I expected. Now that I get to see it from a different angle, I would say this is $350 tops. $350, $370 max. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty big. 1/6 scale. I suppose that half of the price you're paying is for the effect parts and the base. Right, moving on to the next one here. Pop Art Studio Rangiku Matsumoto from Bleach. $283. Okay, and there are a few versions over here, and there is a second version which I'm not putting on screen because I'm too lazy to censor it. Basically, wearing tight black bikini, which is, I would get the basic version, right? Unless the other version comes with a second different head sculpt, then maybe get both. If you get both, it is only $283, which for not exactly two figures, right? Is it two figures? I mean, for 1.5 or 2 figures, it is not that expensive, but the face is beautiful for this one. Yep, very nice face over there. And the detail on the hair is outstanding. Look at how many sculpt lines on it. Yeah, I always look for that combined with weathering. Next up over here, for some reason, third-party brands, they love Asuka. We have 3 Asukas this week, I think. T1 Studio, this is my favorite version for this week. $218 at... It is non-scale, but 30 centimeters. That should be 1/6, I think. Taller than 1/6, considering that her legs are bent, which means if she is standing upright, she would be taller than 30 centimeters. Closer to 1/5, I think. So this is releasing in June at $218, which is extremely reasonable. And I love it when they make her bodysuit slightly torn, right? A simple, small touch, but makes the figure a lot more detailed. Face looks great. I love her face. So I have an alter figure of the same outfit. Came out long ago. Was it 8 or 10 years ago? The jersey version. Yes. I love that figure. Simple figure, but I love it. Unfortunately, I don't have Rei. Only Asuka. I mean, this base... 1/6 size, but 30 cm is a bit bigger than 1/6 at $218. What a bargain, man. Next up, the second Asuka here by HS Studio. A suit that looks like bunny suit, but without bunny ears. $153 only. Okay. No scale mentioned. Releasing in June. What is the height? 35. Wow. Okay, 35 including that base, which is misleading. So this is closer to 1/6 as well. $153. Okay, she looks fine. I mean, I would rather you take the red color version easily because of color contrast. With orange, we have black, we have red. This is like black only. So I think this is a no-brainer. Take the red one, right? I still like the one earlier a lot more. This one over here because of more details on her outfit. This one is a bit less detailed, but the price is cheaper. Face is okay, but once again, the one earlier licking a lollipop, I think a bit unique, right? Yeah. Wait, only 2 Asuka? Yeah, there we go. The third one here from Strange Thief Studio. So they are not just making Detective Conan stuff, also Asuka now. Bandage Asuka. $151 releasing in June. It looks okay. The face is fairly accurate to the anime, but when there are so many Asuka figures, almost 1 or 2 every week, then you have to be choosy, which in this case for this week, this is the clear winner. Next up over here, we have Model Power Studio Night Banquet Series number 2, Annie Leonhardt from Attack on Titan. Okay, 1/4 scale is only $280. 1/6 scale is going for $215. Then 1/4 is a lot more worth it. The figure is really dark, right? So I can't really appreciate the details over here. Maybe it will look better in person. So the photographs over here are not doing the figure any justice. I believe she looks way more detailed, way better in person. Especially all the texture and the folds over here on her black gothic outfit over there. Not really captured in these photographs over here. Face is okay though. Releasing in September. And then the next one here from CYZ Studio, we have Conan Naruto. Is this actually from Naruto or is this... It is from Naruto. Okay. See, I don't even know Naruto characters. 1/4 scale, almost $300 releasing in March. Is that fabric outfit? Is it cloth or is it real resin? Only one picture. Oh, we have more pictures. Why I can't? Okay. I think the proportions are really weird over here. The head is way too small, don't you think? Very long legs. Even her torso is fairly long, but if you compare the proportion of her torso to her legs is a tad bit too long, and then the worst part is that her head is too small. Granted, some shonen anime, the characters have really weird proportions, like One Piece. So I'm not sure if she looks like this in the anime, but I think Naruto's characters are not as weird as One Piece characters. So when I look at this, I find the proportion to be so funny. It is like the head is 1/5 scale and then the rest is 1/4 scale. Oh, this is real material. It is not cloth. Okay, not fabric. It does look like a very pretty JK model posing for a magazine, and they even edited the photo this way. They captured the essence, the vibe of it very well, but I just couldn't overlook the very long legs and the small head. Next up over here, Arcobaleno Studio One-Eyed Beauty Chrome Dokuro from Katekyo Hitman Reborn. There is a remake of the anime. I did not watch it. Okay, 1/6 scale, $315, releasing in September. Okay, character design is low detail, but once again, this is classic anime. So older anime characters, they are not as detailed as the game or anime characters today. Oh, the LED looks amazing. LED effect is nice, but this is another one of those figures where you're paying $150 for the figure and then another $150 for the base and effect parts. In this case, it feels like the base is more expensive than the figure. But low detail characters like this does not interest me. Next up over here from Red Studio, we have Chainsaw Man Makima. So there is a Hadaka version of this one, which you have to purchase separately at the same price of $317 at 1/4 scale. And for the case of 1/6 scale, the price is $200. So regardless of whether you are getting this cloth version or the Hadaka version, the price is the same for each scale. This is the realistic face version, semi-realistic, but it is a really good one. And they also have anime face. Wait, let me look for the pictures. Yep, anime face. So when you are getting both head sculpts, not complaining about the realistic one. Yeah. In fact, in this case, the realistic one looks pretty good. If there is one thing I would change for this figure, I would add some blood stains on her white shirt. That is all that is needed for this figure to be perfect, I suppose. Yeah, it looks very good already, but blood stains would make it even better. Detailed base as well, right? So $317.14 or $16 at $200. The price is very reasonable considering the base and everything you're getting over here. Next up, we have Chitoge Kirisaki from Nisekoi. This is pretty random. I did watch the anime, and it is one of the most frustrating anime you'll ever watch. I did not read the manga, right? I'm an anime-only person. No, I don't have time for the manga. So you have a super dense dude who does not realize that two girls are simping him so hard. Basically that. Cute Creator Studio, this one over here. So what is funny about this one is that version A without Gorilla, $198, and version B with Gorilla, $235. You should get the one with Gorilla. And what do you mean by Gorilla over here? This thing over here, which is so diabolical. I love it. So, in case you did not read the manga or you did not watch the anime, the context over here is that while she is a very pretty woman, her personality, her character, a brute, a very rough woman, right? Always resorting to violence all of the time. So people call her Gorilla. So that is the context over here. I love it. I want this thing, man. I want this Gorilla only. Of course, I can't buy the Gorilla only. I need to get the entire figure. But it has been a while since the last time we saw a Chitoge figure. It has been years even. Max Factory has a scale figure of her which was very popular back then. By today, I don't know how much she cost. But this is very nice. Like, there is nothing I can complain about it. Maybe other than the outfit lacking in detail. Like, this is way too plain, right? A bit more folds and shading would be nice, but if you look at the anime adaptation, at least this is pretty accurate. The art in that anime is not that detailed to begin with. Okay, moving on to the next one here from C Plus Studio, we have Little Devils #1 Albedo, who develops strongly Overlord. Albedo who develops strongly, what is that supposed to mean? So this is like, I'm not sure. It looks weird to me. $237 at 1/6 scale. There are 3 versions over here releasing in June 2026. Version A, $162. Version 2, or Ahegao face. And bigger Opai, what the heck? $191. And version C, both I suppose. And yeah, getting both for $237. I think you are just swapping out parts for the head and the chest, right? Not 2 entire figures. It is like a cheap attempt in selling fan service. Even the body proportions are weird, I think. Her left leg looks slightly longer than the right leg for some reason. This could be a viewing angle problem. If I were to turn the figure this side a bit, maybe her legs are equal, but putting aside her legs itself, it looks like the body proportions are really weird. Yeah, something is not right over here. Looks funny to me. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have some cultured stuff over here. They are making a comeback slowly. The first one is SC Studio Yui Kotegawa from To Love Go. So Yui Kotegawa is such a tsundere, and she is such a sticker for rules, you know. Do not run in the hallway. Do not talk in class. She's like the ideal, class rep, and she's always enforcing the rules. Even though she is kinda like a closet edgy person, you know. She thinks about these kind of things, but she tries very hard to deny it, something like that. So to see her putting off a post like this, it feels a little bit out of character. Moving on to the next one here. This is even better than the one before from Murloc Studio. They have new edgy figures every week. My Sakurajima Satisfied Rabbit from Rascal Does Not Dream. $215 at 1/6 scale. No release date yet. So if this figure turns out exactly as advertised over here, especially the face, oh hell yeah, I want one myself, right? The thing is that Murloc Studio, it could be a rebranded studio, an existing brand changing their name. So I can't really judge it at this point because they have nothing out yet. This specific name, Murloc Studio, nothing has been released by them yet. So it is a bit risky, but for people who are dry, I suppose that you don't get many opportunities with figures like this. Not many of them out there with the third parties. So pre-order it maybe. Moving on to the next one here. Another cultured figure. Fern, Freyan Beyond Journey's End by Pure Crush Studio. Okay, so the cloth version is going for $253 at 1/6 scale, and then there's a Hadaka version going for $191, and you can get both for $389. I think the cloth version is better than the Hadaka version because it is like partial Hadaka, not full Hadaka, and partial Hadaka is a lot more artistic than a full Hadaka. That is the way I see it. Face looks good over here as long they deliver the same thing in the final results. Moving up next, we have TG Studio Hatsune Miku Demon Project Sekai. $209 cast off for the top and also bottom, I think. Oh, the bottom is exposed. Nice. This is 1/7 scale though, unfortunately, and there are 2 versions. You can get her in purple or blue hair. Basically, the Miku turquoise green hair. Releasing in December 2026. And yep, they gave her big fake silicone opai. They gave her implants, right? Her opai is not that big. They do it this way because people actually want it. That's the thing. There is a demand from people who purchase third-party stuff. The next Miku figure here, this is a unique concept from FK Studio. $251 at 1/6 scale, no release date yet. In fact, the art style over here is very similar to Siren, this demon called Siren. What was the name of the origin again? Reminds me of that. I'm not exactly a big fan of it, but I do admit that it looks beautiful. This was pretty popular when I posted it on Facebook. Many people liked it. So, wow, the face. The face is beautiful. Moving up next over here, this is a teaser. Max Milk Studio and AOT Studio Girls Frontline Tactical Doll ZB26 1x4 scale. No price, no release date yet, and only a silhouette over here. Are we getting all of those televisions over there? If yes, this is going to cost like $1,000. Yeah, it might cost that much if everything behind her is included. I'm predicting $1,000 for this. We will see in the next week or two when the full price is out and we get more clearer pictures. Moving on to the next one. Oh, this is one of the prettiest jewelry figure I've seen from Street Fighter, and I'm a big fan of her, right? I used this character when I played Street Fighter 4 a lot back then on PC. The 5th and the 6th game I did not play that much, but I loved Street Fighter 4. She was introduced in Street Fighter 4, and I used her because I love her moves, right? Her taekwondo moves. So, this face, I mean, they make her look evil. At the same time, she does not look like some old witch who has retired, Street Fighter 6 characters. So this is the kind of jewelry face that I want to see, right? Evil without looking like a witch at the same time. This is very attractive. Wow. I feel I want one myself. I want to keep scrolling, but I couldn't because I'm too lazy to censor the pictures again. She has a pretty nice backside, even though this is a safe for work figure. Yeah, safe for work. With those bare oshiri, I still call it safe for work. $406 for 1x4 scale is very reasonable, just that I have no idea why they are calling her a spider girl. What the What do you mean by spider girl? Call her Supergirl would be better, even though it sounds cheesy. Moving on to the next one here, Chun-Li from Street Fighter by LK and Luna Studio, $573. No scale mentioned, but at that price, I'm going to assume it is 1x4. Releasing in September. Let's have a look at the dimensions. 1x3, okay, fair enough. Just that we don't have many pictures over here. This is like not the same as the Chun-Li we see in the game, but realistic face that I can accept because I like it a lot and it still resembles her. Yeah. So all three pictures over here are the same, so no point scrolling. We need more pictures from different angles, but 1x3 scale at this price is okay. Next up over here, my Shiranui from KOF by Les Studio. Okay, this is a 1x4 scale. The base model is going for $422, and then no, that is the deluxe version. Base model is $349, and then the deluxe version has a few extra parts for her body, the outfit. So realistic face again, and here is the face on screen. Do you like it or not? I don't know, right? Because my Shiranui has been bastardized so much that I don't know which is which anymore. Like, over the past couple of decades, this character keeps getting a redesign and getting different iterations from different artists, different art style all the way. If you were to say, I want to follow the original artwork, which is like from 1990s or so, then classic anime art style is not exactly as attractive as the newer one today. And if you look at the newer characters today, you can look at the anime style artwork or look at the realistic style. I mean, yeah, it is a toss-up. Like, this is so subjective at this point. Moving on to the next one here, BBSD Studio Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl Yu-Gi-Oh! $235 each. Is it? This is nice, and this is the kind of paint finish I was talking about earlier in the Mega House section. I want to see metallic paint when I see armor. Dark Magician Girl is a bit cheaper, I think. Yep, Dark Magician Girl is $216. Dark Magician is $235. No, a deal dollar. Just that, wow. Ooh, the shield. I love the shield. I don't buy deals, but this is beautiful. Right, moving up next over here, Melusine. For some reason, recently, third parties have quite a bit of fondness towards Melusine. And I swear, one day I would buy her skill figures by QSQ and GSC. Good smile. One day I will. I have not forgotten about FGO yet, even though I haven't purchased a single FGO figure this year. A Dopamine Studio, Melusine, 1x6 scale. There is a standard version. Yep, this white dress over here. And there is a premium version, $149, where she is wearing, almost undergarment. Standard version is this one here, $187 in white dress, and you can get both for $296. Price is actually okay, just that I have no idea if this is a recast of an existing Japanese GK or actually their own artist design by this studio. I have no idea because I've never seen Dopamine Studio before. So far, every Melusine figure that has appeared among the third parties, every single one of them are recast. The ones I covered last week, 2 of them, or the week before, they are recast, confirmed already. So one of you emailed me directly to ask about it because you sent me the link to MFC on the original GK, and you just helped me confirm that it was a recast, the one I covered before. This one, I don't know. It could be one of those things again. Yeah. Moving up next, we have BB from Fate's Grand Order. This is random, but given that this is a 1x7 scale, I am suspecting this is also another recast by Yoja Studio, $215, June release next year. So when the Japanese, they do their own original GKs, they love doing 1x7 instead of 1x6 scale. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe price is a big factor. But there is also the possibility where 1x7 is like an industry standard over there, just in case a genuine licensed figure brand like Alter wants to buy the sculpt and mass produce it, then everything is standardized at 1x7. I suppose it is an industry standard over in Japan. So whenever I see 1x7 instead of 1x6 scale by a Chinese brand, the first thing I think of is recast, right? Next up over here, this is one of my favorites this week. Simple figure, JK figure, but it is Ryuge Kisaki. Everyone loves her. From Blue Archive by Miyawu Studio, $153 only at 1x7. December 2026 release. 1x7, which means, my suspicions remain the same. Could be recast, could be, I don't know. But this is so hot for some reason, even though it is just a lolly taking a dump on a street instead of in a toilet. There is a reason why ecchi figure brands love this pose, right? It is attractive in some way. You don't even need to cast it off to make her look attractive. Now that you see this at $153, will you want one? Let me know down in the comments below. The next Blue Archive figure here from SJ Studio, Tendo Ariso Lightweight Mech. Okay, $211 at 1.7, releasing in September. Once again, kinda sus. Yep, kinda looks like a GK recast. And the reason why, it is not just the scale in this case, but when you see the Japanese sculpt their own GKs, their own anime figures in a way, from a famous game or anime, and then you look at the Chinese doing the same thing, like their own original, it is like you can almost tell whether it is a Chinese or a Japanese who designed the character. There is this art style, or sculpt style in this case, that is very difficult to put into words, but it is like a signature of an artist. No, every artist have their own art style, right? Same thing with photographers. Everyone have their own photography style. So it is like, when you look at the Japanese design an anime character or even sculpt a figure, you can kind of tell it's Japanese. And then when you look at the Chinese, you can kind of tell it is Chinese. I know I sound repetitive, but I don't have a better sentence or a better word to describe it, right? So this one looks Japanese to me for some reason. That is what I'm trying to say. Beautiful though, it is beautiful, and this is one of those cases where whenever I see the figure, I feel like, hey, someone, Max Factory maybe, pick up this figure, man. Make it into something legit. Next up here, 2 Nikke figures. The first one is by Chen Bengying Gongjiao Studio, Bei from Goddess of Victory Nikke. So I suppose that Clay is coming up next. $170, June release. So this is a follow-up to 8 from a few weeks ago. I'm putting the pictures on screen right now, the one behind her. Yep, that one is under the same product line, and then now they're adding Bei to the series. Maybe Clay is next, right? You have 8 at the background, and then here, this one here is sitting on the right. Maybe Clay is sitting on the left side. So her pose will mirror this figure, I think, coming soon. That is my guess. And this figure, her face looks Nice, it is accurate, it looks like Bae. In fact, I find this Bae figure to look a lot better than the one made by Flair, which is currently on pre-order, the cheerleader version. This is so much nicer, and I am not even comparing the outfit, I'm only comparing the face and the hair, right? Okay, I'm moving on to the next one over here, Thunder Z Studio, Stellar Blade Scarlet. So basically, Eve cosplaying as Scarlet, except this does not look like Eve that much. Not many figure brands can get her face right. Standard version, $535. So deluxe version is basically that plate on her head. I call it a plate. Is that the case over here? The face does not look good, man. I'm not a fan of it. You put in so much effort on the outfit, on the details on her body, even the hair looks fairly detailed. Just that the face, I'm not sure if I like it at all. Nah. Right, moving on to the next one here, we have Pineapple Studio Teresa, Seaside Angel from Brown Dust 2. Interesting. So now third parties are looking at Brown Dust 2 as well, which is one of the big Guna games in recent months, I think. I haven't heard of Brown Dust 2 until just a few months ago when their big Opie pillow went viral on the internet, and then they caught my attention because of that pillow. And then later on in One Fest, we started seeing a few companies coming up with new figure announcements from Brown Dust 2. I think this game has the potential to challenge Azur when it comes to big Opie characters. So this one here, $215 for everything you're getting over here is actually not bad, very reasonable, releasing in June next year. And you can cover up her chest with a towel if you wish. For me, I feel like I'm looking at an older version of Ozaki-san for some reason. Yeah. Next up over here, this is an update from a couple of weeks ago. Miyin Studio Chisa from Wuthering Waves. We now have a price, right? Before this, there was no price. So she is now $233 for the high edition, which is the more complex base you're looking on screen. And there is no need to bother with the cheaper version. Not that much cheaper either. So releasing in September, and this Chisa looks fabulous. I said that back then, and by today, I see the full figure. Yup, she looks fantastic. The next Chisa figure here is coming from Halo Studio, and this is available in 1.6 and 1.4. The 1.6 is going for $296. Very expensive. Must be thanks to the base, or no thanks to the base. 1x4 version A is $431, which is reasonable. 1x4 is the better value, in fact. And version B is only available in 1x6 scale, which is this almost Hadaka version, yet not Hadaka at the same time. I would say don't waste your money on this, right? This is like a cheap attempt to sell you some fan service, yet it is not really fully Hadaka. So just get version A and pick your size 1.6 or 1.4. For me, I can't decide which is better, but I feel like the Miyin Studio is slightly more attractive. Maybe because she's flipping up her shirt and I'll get to enjoy those JK Opies over there. The next figure here, okay, this is an update from 2 weeks ago as well. 2 weeks ago, we had teaser pictures and not much else. No price, no release date. Now we find out that this Venus Mint Studio Taiho figure, a set of 2 at 1x4 scale, is only $566. Good price, yes, it is a good price. The problem is that the face is a bit off. Doesn't look like Taiho that much. Like, there is some resemblance, but we're looking at 60% resemblance maybe. So I'm not sure if I like this one at all. Yeah. Price is good, but it feels like buying a couple of 1x4 scale figures that are kinda inferior compared to even what Mimeoi made with Taiho, despite the bug thief. And buying 2 figures of the same character in the same outfit, just with a different pose, I'm not sure if it is worth it. They are not selling it separately, 2 figures in one set, so it is like they're forcing you to get both, and I don't think so, right? Not with that face. Moving on to the next one here, this is not nice. I would say skip this one. ZTR Studio Cow Series, Sirius and Dido from Azur. I could barely tell that these 2 characters are from Azur. Yeah. $575 at 1x3 scale for both. Once again, you need to get both, and the price is really low for 1x3 scale, but Cow Bikini again. And the shading on the hair barely there. It is there, but barely there. To the next one here, which is the last figure, and this is super cultured. I'm not sure if her nyan nyan is visible, but regardless of whether it is visible or not, I don't care because the pose is so attractive. Yao Ming Ming Studio is back. Azur Pearl, $187 at 1/6 scale, releasing in September. This is beautiful, the face, right? And Yao Ming Ming Studio, I can vouch for them. If you want to pre-order it, they will get the face right. Yeah, so this whole thing, this is a work of art. I love it. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you hit the pre-order button early, or which one will you purchase after release? Let me know down in the comments below. And thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.